So one of the main things about this bike is the sound of those gear driven cams. Not only the sound, but the reliability that those give to this bike is just second to none. Never have to worry about belts or chains stretching, causing trouble. This thing is made to be reliable.
5th gen VFR is red, 100 horsepower, single-sided swing arm, gear-driven cams, gear-driven cams. 5th gen VFR is red, 100 horsepower, single-sided swing arm, gear-driven cams, gear-driven cams.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Hello and welcome back to the RH Automotive channel, reviewing the 1998 Honda VFR 5th gen. This is a bike I have owned for over 5 years now. And if you followed the channel, you know I have done videos on this previously for the 2-year review, and now we are 3 years on. It's quite unbelievable that I still have this bike in my possession. Of course, one of the main reasons that I actually purchased this bike is the looks and the style of that beautiful rear wheel, single-sided swing arm. Now, you will notice that this is not the right wheel for this bike. This is actually off the 1990 VFR800fi. That's an 8-spoke, which I think it looks magnificent on the 5th gen. And not many people tend to fit these, so I think it really makes the bike just a bit more unique than what it is. Of course, if you've watched the previous videos, you will also know that I fitted straight away this lovely Black Widow carbon fibre high-level exhaust. I still don't regret getting the Black Widow exhaust, because there's not really many options for carbon fibre cans with the VFR. The thing about carbon fibre over the stainless or any sort of full metal can is that deeper sound. So I definitely recommend the Black Widow exhaust. Not only does it look good, it suits the bike so well with its high level. Now there are options to get other styles and stuff Black Widow do make, but I think this is like one of the nicest. Because mainly the original ones tend to come down just below the swing arm, blocking that beautiful rear wheel. You might be thinking about the reliability of this bike, and actually I bought this bike with something like 19,000 miles on it. Now, I think I'm after doubling that at this stage. We have 41,000 miles on this. Now, you might be surprised, it's like in 1998. It's relatively low mileage for this model, because in previous episodes I did mention that owners have gotten over 100,000 miles out of these engines. These are exceptionally reliable. Walking around the bike, you can kind of see some other things I've done. I actually changed these indicators for the smoked, a bit more modern looking ones, and also fitting the carbon fibre front fender, which you can also watch on the channel. How I done that previously, it's up here somewhere. Along with the front carbon fibre parts, I also fitted the rear. What is that? What is that? This is also another part that I made myself, because you can't, I don't think you can buy the underside carbon fibre chain guard for these, so I had to make this one myself, but you can watch that on the channel, how I done that. Another carbon fibre part I made for this bike was over here, the exhaust guard. Now this one hasn't held up as well because the heat and stuff has caused the actual clear resin and the lacquer to kind of, I don't know, go a bit fadey and dry out a bit, so that could be redone, I could definitely say. Also, you'll notice that these downpipes are stainless. I believe Black Widow actually makes these stainless downpipes, but these came on the bike when I bought it. Definitely worth the upgrade. As you'll know, if you have the original ones, these are mild steel and they tend to rust out and just look a bit tired after a while. But these stainless ones, although they could do with a clean and a polish, they definitely look very, very shiny and they stand out with the Black Widow exhaust. Also from previous episodes, the screen, I also have the double bubble screen on here, which allows for just a bit more airflow over your head compared to the original. Now, I have been swapping these to and from the original visor because depending on what look you're going for, I think this one looks a lot more modern and suits this bike a bit more. You'll also remember I used to have an extra visor up here. It doesn't really fit the double bubble as good, so I would tend not to fit it on this one. Also stated in my older videos, the mods I've done to this bike include LED indicator conversions, and I also have them in the rear. Coming up to the cockpit, you will notice I have some very cool screen up here. Now, this is a CarPlay unit, so I will go into more detail eventually about this, but this is a very cool accessory. If you have Bluetooth and want to listen to your music, you have your Spotify, you have your messages, you can get WhatsApp and stuff like that. The main thing I like it for is the maps. Now, this is really cool. You can also connect your Bluetooth headset, so you can get your directions through here. So it's like a double Bluetooth system, not like the CarPlays in a car where it just has one Bluetooth connection. You can actually connect your Sena or your Cardo system to this while you're riding, as well as having all your basics on here. If I go into my home, we also have a driving recorder here, which you can see. You'll also see we have TPMS, tire pressure monitor system, front and rear. They're not fitted at the moment, so I won't go into the detail about that. I will eventually do a video on this unit down the line. I added this, basically it's cruise control, a very simple rudimentary cruise control, and that releases it. Now, it's a bit bulky, I will say. I think these are made by a company called Atlas, if you wanted to research them. Now, this is one of the cheaper versions. Pretty much the same thing. It's made of aluminum. It's a good quality product, but then again, it's quite bulky, I will say. So I have my rack on here with my panniers. Funny enough, I never thought this rack would fit with the high level exhaust, but fortunately it does. Now, it is in contact. It's not perfect, and I had to add in these spacers to widen the rear to allow that actually to fit in there, as you can see. What I don't like about the racks really is the fact you can't fit the cowl because of the mounts here, and that does take away a good chunk of the looks away from the rear of this bike. But other than that, I actually like it. Also forgot to mention, with the 8-spoke wheel, we have this cover here that it's basically a replica wheel nut cover. Now, it's totally not functional. The only thing it does hide is the 4 lug nuts here behind. But just to give it that little bit more, I will put a link in the description as well for where you can buy one of these. Definitely worth checking them out. So I don't really know what else to say about this bike. If my example of having it for 5 years and I'm still yet to replace it, I don't know what bike I can replace this with. It's like, what else do you actually get for your money with this? I paid like $2,000 for this bike. Market value, they're probably about $2,500–3,000 now, so they don't seem to be losing value as such. Still a great investment, I will say. I think if I had to replace this bike, it would be a 4-cylinder or something, because you can't really get another V4 for that price. I mean, if you want to experience it, this is the bike to get. The VTEC is a great bike as well. I will say there's lots of people in the comments down below that recommend the VTEC version of this, which is the 02 onwards. But if you want your gear-driven cams, that beautiful sound, you want that specific look of having the single front headlight rather than the kind of fox eye style of the VTEC, I would definitely recommend this model. The 5th gen is the one to go for. The fact that there's a good part supply for these bikes, there's engines available everywhere, scrap yards across the country. There's so many modifications you can do. These aren't specifically track bikes, but you can buy a lot of the suspension upgrades front and rear. But as such, I think it's a very good handling bike from factory. I don't think it really needs any more upgrades, because you have your bars in a nice comfortable position. They're not exactly like race clip-ons, so your back doesn't hurt for long distances. They're pretty high. If you don't find these nice, you can actually get extended ones. They're called heli bars, or else you can go for like a rental bar conversion with the I think they're ARM make them for these VFRs. So you can get a different top yoke and fit your straight bars on here. And it might be a bit more comfortable for you. Also, I will mention the foot pegs, they're pretty low to the ground. They're not really in a very high up race position, so you're sitting on the bike pretty comfortably. So in terms of keeping the VFR, it's definitely on the cards because I have absolutely nothing to replace this bike with so far. This thing is just unique. It's one of a kind. I would recommend it 10 out of 10. If you're looking for a good sports tourer, this is the bike to go for. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below and I'll try to answer them as best as I can. Meanwhile, you can watch some of the other videos on the channel. Oh yeah, this is a weird thing as well to mention. I don't know, did you ever see the drug ship? This is a drug ship in the background, so that's very nice. Right folks, I'll talk to you next time. I'll straighten up my camera. Peace out. Na 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 na.
Like if you've enjoyed the video. Play like if you've enjoyed the video. Play like if you've enjoyed the video.